Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for October 10th, 2021. Wow. This week went by pretty slowly. It was a really slow week at work, which was good because I got caught up on a lot of things and I don't have any overtime right now, so that was kind of nice to get out every day. But I just felt kind of blah. But I read a lot of short things. I had quite a few things from the library that I needed to get through. A lot of my library holds are coming through. I need to back off again on how many library holds I have, because I'm again over the I think 12 or 13 that I'm looking for. Some of them are not released for another month or two, but again, they're mostly hardbacks of things that I'm not gonna, or novellas that I'm not gonna pay full price for, sorry. So I'll get it from the library, but you know, they're all starting, some of them are starting to come in and I have to read them as well as all the books that I have. So I need to lower my putting holds on the library, as well as cutting back on my buying habits. They are just out of control right now. So I need to do that too. So I'm working on it. Hey cat, what is his new thing? He wants to go for the tripod. Like, I don't know, it's his new thing. No, go away. It's Cooper. You know that, right? Yeah. Anyway, so other than that, everything's going well, I guess normal. Anyway, the weather's turned here, so it's been kind of cloudy and rainy and then cool, so that's kind of nice. I enjoy that much better than the heat, so in the sun, because I don't want to be out in the sun. So anyway, so let's talk about the books that I finished, the ones I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm going to read in the next week. So the first thing I read was on Sunday. I'm doing my buddy read with Tia and all the books. We're reading all the Kate Daniels series. So in this bind-up, I had an Ilona Andrews novella that I never got to read when I bought this, because I was reading the other series, but that's the one I hadn't got this far enough, and this was 6.5, Magic Steals. So this is it. So we read this on Sunday. It was just, I think, 80 pages or something. So it was a good one. It follows some of the side characters, and their little adventure and their little romance and stuff. So it was really fun. It was Delia and Jim, and I just love them. They're just so cute. Anyway, so it was a good short story. Another good novella in this series. I'm really enjoying this more and more as I read the Kate Daniels series. I'm so glad everybody told me I should read it and have said it's a good series. And I'm glad we're finally getting through that. So that was one of our reads for October, so we got that done. And I actually completed this whole thing. I mean, I completed it on Goodreads like a couple, or 3 or 4 years ago, whenever this came out. I don't remember what year it was. 2014. Okay, it's been a while. But I had completed it a long time ago, because I read the other 3 because I was reading those series, but this one's the only one I wasn't actively reading. So I finally finished that though. So, and then I reread Fangs by Sarah Anderson. I bought this, I think, last year. I had seen it online last year. Her put little posts on it, and then when it came out, I think I just bought it. I think it was last year. Anyway, but this is so cute. It's about a vampire and a werewolf's romance. And they're just sweet. I mean, and they're not very, you know, just very light art and stuff, you know, like it's just black and white, and sorry, that's the same page. But like, they're just little stories. They're just so funny. I really enjoyed my reread of this. I saw somebody had it on their, I think their TBR, and I went, oh, I usually have it sitting up here because I really love this little short story, or this little graphic novel, comic, whatever. I don't know what you call it. Anyway, at the point my brain isn't thinking, but I really enjoyed this, and this is just a little fun book. So I just enjoyed that. It was a nice little light read, and I just felt like reading it. And then, what day did I finish this? I think I finished this on Monday. King Solomon's Mines by H. Rider Haggard. So this was my first completed book for Victober. So I read this for a popular novel because it was super popular then, and it's still a novel people know about now, or know the characters. So we're following Alan Quatermain as he helps Sir Henry find his lost brother, who has gone looking for King Solomon's mines in like North Central Africa. And it was, again, this was published in 1885? Yeah, 1885. So there's a lot of like the colonialism mindset from the characters and stuff, but I think what H. Rider Haggard does really well is describe Africa. In the landscape is just fantastic. And he also is really good about talking about different, like not everybody's the same. Like he's not like just lumping all of people who are from Africa in one group. He's very good about saying the different tribes and the different things that they deal with or how they do things differently. So I'm not saying it's perfect at all. I'm just saying he, I think, did better than some of the books I've read about Africa where, you know, from this time period, where they kind of group people in and kind of the whole savages thing. And then there's a little bit of that, but not anywhere near as much as I've read in other ones. I just thought he did a much better job of explaining differences and how people are different, that, you know, they're different cultures that are in that, that whole continent. It's just, he did better on that. I'm not perfect. Anyway, Alan, I wanted to whack him upside the head sometimes too, you know. But the adventure was really good in this. I think that was the next best thing, beyond the descriptions of Africa, the scenery and stuff, landscape. I thought the adventures, again, it was another one where it didn't quite go the way I thought it would go. It went kind of in weird ways. I wasn't expecting a huge thing at the, you know, certain battle scene at the end. Like, I'm like, whoa, why wasn't, or, well, I mean, the very end I knew kind of, I guessed kind of what was going to happen there, but not right before that. Cats, why is everybody going for my thing? Stop that. They, this is Cooper's new thing, is to go for my tripod when I'm filming. I don't think he likes it. Anyway, I don't know, it's a new tripod that I got a couple months ago, but I finally got it out of the box and he doesn't like it. Anyway, so I really enjoyed this. I'm glad I read another book by him. This is not a series I'm going to continue in though. I liked his, Asha series much better, the She, and I have Return of She, on my shelf, and I've already ordered the next 2 books, but one of them, number 3, is She and Alan. So there is a crossover book between them that were written in the early 1900s. So I'm gonna, as I said, I'm gonna continue the series, that series, but this one I'm probably not, because he did kind of annoy me on certain things. But again, this is so male dominated. There's only a few females in it, so I mean, again, so was the other one, but I don't know, it was just different because she was the main, like a main figure, as well as another woman was in it. So I don't know, this was, this is definitely what you would call an adventure novel and geared towards men. And you have to be aware of that. But I really enjoyed the adventure part was the best, and the descriptions of Africa I think were done really well. So anyway, for that time period. So anyway, so that was my first Victober read completed. Then I read one of my library books, one of my favorite series, the Ishmael Jones series by Simon R. Green. So this is book 10, Buried Memories. So this is very deep in the series. Don't start here. It won't make any sense. But they're all very, very short. And they are essentially English mystery manor, or how did I say the house? Something English manor mysteries with a supernatural twist. That's pretty much how these are. They're almost always like a creepy house or a creepy area, and Ishmael and his partner Penny go to investigate, and they work for this the organization which deals with kind of weird phenomenon. And Ishmael himself is an alien. So it's just fun. This one really focuses on that side of him, which again we just get little hints of through the book. So again, this is book 10. Don't start here. But I really enjoyed this series. The first book is The Dark Side of the Road, I think. I've read all of them, but anyway, but I really think this is a fun series. So again, as I said, if you want a quick urban fantasy ones, but with as I said, it's English country manor mysteries with a supernatural twist, I think they'll enjoy this. Anyway, they're just fun. As I said, I collect them in paperback, so I don't buy them when they're in the hardback. So I wait for the paperback. Anyway, then my next Victober read was The Canterville Ghost by Oscar Wilde. So I bought this last year. I think somebody showed this on their, were reading it. So I went and found this copy on Book Depository and bought it last year, but I didn't get to it because it didn't come until after, I think, Victober. Anyway, so I read this. I thought I'd read this, but when I read it, I don't recall reading it. So maybe I never did. Maybe I just watched the the movie that was kind of adapted from this, I keep thinking there was a Disney movie. Or something that was kind of like it. Was there one with Jodie Foster? I don't remember. But anyway, there was some movie that always made me think I thought I'd read this, but I don't think I did. I don't know if I did. If I did, it was so long ago that I don't remember it. Anyway, so this is a really short little novella, and it has to do with an American family who comes and rents, I think they're renting, I can't remember now if they rent, I'm pretty sure they're renting the Canterville Chase, which is this manor, and it's haunted, and the Cantervilles don't want to live there anymore because of the haunting, and because they've been haunted for 300 years by Sir Simon, who has been there. And it's really, it's one of those things where it's the people who move in don't believe in ghosts kind of thing, and so then, or they mess with the ghost, and it just kind of goes from there. It actually went in some ways that I didn't expect, but it also, there is a dark tone to this that I didn't think was going to be there. But I liked the way it went, but it was just, again, it was really short. It wasn't like spectacular or anything, although I really enjoyed it. So it was just a fun little story, and another Oscar Wilde one that I had not read. So I thought I liked it. It was fun, and I got through that. And then the last thing I finished, so all those were really, really short, but another library book. So I'm trying to get through my library books, is Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune. So this book just came out, and I was one of the first, because I asked the library to buy the copy. Anyway, oh, I left my bookmark in it. Anyway, so this one, okay, so I read The House in the Cerulean Sea last year and just adored it. I love that. So in a lot of ways, this is kind of on the same, it's written kind of in the same style, and yet it is very different. So I really love that book for its whimsy and for a lot of the sweetness to it and stuff. Again, it was just, I love that book. I'm already thinking about rereading it right now because I haven't read it since last year, and I read it twice. Yeah, twice last year. So I would like to read that again. This one was different because this is very focused on grief and on death, and you have to know that going in that it's to me, I found the very first chapter was hard to read. It is funny, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's a funny look at something happening that was very cruel. And I think that was my problem at first, is I was like, I don't know about this, because I do not like this main character. And it really is his character's development throughout the book, and I think it's done really well on showing his what happens to him from the beginning when he is not the nicest person, and then he dies, and then he's in kind of a limbo, and he is brought to this tea house run by Howe, who is the ferryman who helps ghosts cross, or people cross over. And I loved all the side characters. I liked there's a reaper, there's another couple ghosts that are there. It was really cute, like, through a lot of it. But again, this one has just much deeper themes of death and changing yourself, like learning that maybe what you did all through your life was not what you should have been doing, and should think about other people, not just yourself. So I think there's a lot of good themes in here. I think it is very different from The House in Cerulean Sea. Do not think it's like that, because that to me had a whole other message. It had some of the same kind of messages, but totally different in a lot of ways. So I did like the way this went. I was actually hoping it would go another way, just because I thought that's the way it should, but I liked the way it went. I mean, I kind of guessed it was going to go that way, but I was still kind of hoping it would do just something else slightly different. But I think I liked the way it ended. I mean, I liked how it all came together, and I liked the decisions made. It just, as I said, I was more like, if he went a little hard-edged, he would go that way, but he didn't. But he did a lot of other things that were, I think, were risks after The House in the Cerulean Sea. I think this one is definitely, I don't know, I don't want to say, it's not like deeper, it's just, the themes are darker in some ways. But I still think you have your whimsy, you still have his humor, you still have the sweet innocence of people, like, kind of liking each other and not knowing what to do about it kind of thing. I think there was a lot of good things in here. And I really enjoyed it. And it's, again, it's just, it wasn't to me, it didn't hit me as hard as the other book, but it does make me want to pick up more of his other series that are some of the stuff that's self-published, or the other stuff that's not in this type of a series, you know. So I think he has a paranormal that I want to try with werewolves, I think, called, I don't know, is it Wolf Song or something? Anyway, I'd like to try that one. But I still really enjoyed this. I'm glad I read it early. I mean, I got it pretty quickly. And I guess I probably will buy a copy when it comes out in paperback. I'm going to think about that because I really enjoyed it, but I'm not sure yet if I will reread it. But I did really enjoy this, and I'm glad I finally got to that. So, or I finally came from the library. So I did really enjoy that. So those are all the books that I finished. So I think I did pretty well. Got through my library books. And then a couple little things for Victober. I know there were some of the smaller things. So what I'm working on, and I'm still listening to Dr. Thorne by Anthony Trollope. It's narrated by Timothy West. So I've made a lot of progress. It's hard for me. This is really, I'm not sure if Anthony Trollope is a writer for me. I like the narrator voice to these books. This is the third book in the Barsetshire series. So I really wanted to finish that series this year, and I kind of dropped out in April out of a group on Instagram. I couldn't get back into this book. And I'm glad I picked up the audiobook this month to try to get through this, because that is helping me get through the parts where I would just set it down. Like, I would have set it down so many times. This book is just not, I don't know if some people think this is like their favorite. And I'm like, I don't get it. It's written really well. Like I said, the narrator is my favorite part of this because of his little comments about people and stuff. There's just a couple little comments. I just like that. It's just a very kind of like, you know, this neighborhood of Greshambury, and the people who live there, the squire and his family, and then the doctor and his niece, and how they're related to things and have a kind of a background of what happened many years before, but how, because they're not wealthy, you know, it's looked bad upon for the son of the squire, so for him to want to marry the niece, and then there's other people involved that are, you know, family-wise, kind of distantly. And it's just, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here, and it's really well plotted and, like, all that kind of stuff. I just don't know. It's, to me, I don't know if it's just too rural or too domestic for me. I don't know. I guess again, I'm really big on... Especially right now, I think my mood has like shifted to very much, I want to read action adventure kind of things. And this is really slow, like, and meandering. Not like, but it's good, but it's, I don't know, it's just not really what I want, I guess. So I do want to still finish this series at some point. I'm just not sure if I'm going to have to do audiobooks for all of them to get through them. Because again, I have a tendency when I do read this, I want to set it down. Like, I'll read a little and I'll be like, roll my eyes and put it down on certain things, especially poor Frank. I just don't, he just drives me crazy, and I'm like, anyway, so we'll see. But anyway, I am about 72% of the way through, so I'm hoping to finish this week sometime, hopefully early in the week. We'll see. It just matters how much I get done, but I want to be done. Oh my God, I cried, sorry. Anyway, but I'm working on that, so I'm hoping to get this done for Victober. As I said, it's one of those books I started this year I'd like to finish before the end of the year. Then I started, my cat is just out there crying. Haunted Houses, which is 2 novels by Charlotte Riddle. So she was a popular author. She was born in Ireland, but I think she moved to London when she was older, and then lived there. She had a lot of money issues, so she was like writing to keep herself out of debt. I think there's a couple women authors who were like that. Her and, what's her name? Oh, is it Oliphant? I don't know. There's another, yeah. I think she was the same kind of thing. Anyway, but I hadn't read any of her books, and I had this one, and I have a big book called A Struggle for Fame, which I do want to get to at some point, but I decided to go with the more haunted house theme. So I'm first reading Fairy Water, which is the name of the estate that is in this man Stafford is the one telling the story, and his family it's not in his branch of the family, like his cousin, you know, owned it. So, this starts out super slow, and I've only read it as about 67 pages. And this story is about 170, yeah, a little over 170 pages. So, I'm not quite halfway. I got bored at the beginning. I was like, this is very, very slow. It was a lot of build up for where we're going. And then just before I stopped yesterday afternoon, I had to switch books because I was like, okay, I need to put this down because I was getting bored. But it was a good chapter, the last chapter before I stopped down. She finally heard about something that was kind of spooky because these are supposed to be her spooky novels, or 2 of them. I guess she read 4 of them, so I might have to try to find the other ones. But so I'm going to try to read some of this today and maybe some tomorrow and try to get done at least that first story. The second story is called The Uninhabited House, and I'm hoping to get to that later this week or something, but I mean, again, I might space it out with some other stuff, but I want to get Fairy Water at least done in the first part of the week, and at least have half the book done, so the first story, and see where it goes. So again, this one, again, I'm not sure, I'll explain more once I've read it more, but right now, there's kind of this talk of this house that a friend of his, of Stafford's, wants to sell, but it's like, it's like haunted of some sort, and there's a witch taking care of it. I don't know. There's not, but it took me like 55 pages to get to even hear about this guy who has this house. Anyway, so I don't know. So this one's kind of, I'm not sure how I totally feel about it, but I'm gonna finish that. But I want to at least read, I would like to read both these novels, you know, both these short novels for this month. So I will get to the second one at some point. But anyway, I'm gonna finish the Fairy Water first. So we'll see how that goes. And then I started The Watchmaker of Filigree Street by Natasha Pulley. I've had this for a little while, and it's on my 5-star predictions, so I'm not doing very good with that one. I've only read 1, and I've started 2 others, and now I've started the 3rd. So, and then I still have 1 to start. Anyway, but the point is that I need to read this. So, I only got about 50 pages in last night, and this is a historical fiction, so in 1880, I think 84, 83, 84, I think it starts in 83 and is now in 84. We're in London, and we have Nathaniel, who is, he works for the Home Office, and he does stuff with, I'm going to say telegraphs. My brain just shut down on the term he uses. Anyway, but there's people who are bombing things, and he finds a strange watch in his rented rooms one day, and then 6 months later it somehow saves his life. And then right where I stopped is where he's trying to figure out where this watch really came from, because he thought it was from his sister, and his sister said, no, I haven't been there. Anyway, so there's this mystery about this watch, and then the bombing that happens, and he was really close to. So I don't know. It's so that part is really interesting. I'm not sure where it's going to go from there, because he's now, as I said, we're trying to figure out about the watchmaker and what it has to do with everything that happened. And then, but there was this chapter that kind of was out of place to me about this woman who is going to school up in Oxford, and her name is Grace, and I have no idea how it's related to what's happening, but so far I don't like her all that much, and I don't know why we followed her for that short time. Her companion, who she was talking to, is a man who's from Japan, and he somehow, I don't know, he kind of, for some reason, he was more interesting of wondering why he was at the school than her, because I don't know. So I don't know how that's going to relate to the main chapter. So I don't know. If anybody's read this, maybe just tell me to give it more time. I don't know. I'm not, again, Daniel, I really like him and his story so far, but that chapter threw me out, so I don't know how that has to do with anything. So I guess we'll see. As I said, I'm only 50 pages in. It's like a little over 300 pages. So I'm hoping to get some of that done today as well. So I'm going to read some of Fairy Water and read some of this as well and try to get pretty far into it. I mean, and figure out if I like or don't like. I don't know. I just have weird feelings. That chapter just felt so disjointed. I don't know why it didn't relate to me at all of what was going on when I wanted to figure out what the other guy was doing. So I don't know. We'll see. And again, I've never read any books by her, but I hear good things. But and then, so I don't know really what I'm going to pick up after I get through those, but I am reading this week for the Fall Into Reading Challenge put on by Tea and All the Books and several other people. They're doing a group read of Fledgling by Octavia E. Butler. So this is one of those books that I've always wanted to read. I have never been able to finish Kindred. So I always get like partway through and then I just DNF it. It's just not for me. I don't know. There's something about it that just drives me crazy. So I'm always wanting to read one of her books, but I've always been afraid to try again since I've never been able to get through Kindred. But this one has a vampire in it, so I figure I'm good. So this is well, she looks like a child, but she's like 50 some years old, I think. And yeah, she's like 53-year-old and she's out for blood. I don't know. So she's somehow genetically changed from other vampires and there's a reason for that because she can go out in the daylight. I'm not sure why, but it's some mystery around her. And I don't think she remembers what's going on when she wakes up at the beginning of the book. So I don't know. Sounds interesting. I've already tabbed it up for the 7 days we'll be reading. It looks between like 40 and 50 pages a day, so that's pretty good. I can do that. So, but I'm going to be joining that. So that's the only thing I have that I know for sure I'm going to read. I mean, other than try to get through these books, I have, yes, Cooper. I have other audiobooks that I'm going to pick up after Dr. Thorne. I might pick up one of the ones for my 5-star predictions before I pick up another Victober read, or and then I have so many books on my couch. You should see, it's just like stacked up of books I want to read. And I have some Stephen King and some other horrors that I'd like to get to, as well as all this Victorian novels. And in case you were wondering, I have decided not to read Middlemarch this month. I think because I'm having so much trouble with Dr. Thorne, my brain just will not allow me to read another quiet novel like that. So I've picked up all the smaller books that have more adventure or more mystery elements, something like that, more genre fiction, I guess, to me. I can't read another book that's like Dr. Thorne once I get through that. I think Middlemarch will just have to be another month where I just decide that's the book I start with that month and then, you know, just go with it. I can't be reading something else, not similar, but similar enough that it's not going to work for me. So I did try to start that during last week, and I just couldn't. No, I can't read that right now. I have to read something else. And I'm glad I made that choice because I did read a lot of little things, got through a lot of books. I got through a lot of library books, but I have a lot of books that I own that are shorter or more, as I said, more genre ones that I want to try to get to. So we'll see. I'm not sure what all I'll read, but again, I'll be reading this throughout the week, and then I hope to finish those this week as well. So we'll see what happens after that. No idea. So what are you guys reading? How is your Victober going? I did not say, but Victober again is put on by Katie at Books and Things, Kate Howe and Lucy the Reader, and I'm really, again, Victober is one of my favorites. I've just decided over the years that I have to, in my readathons, mix it up. So I think I'm done really well. I've got, as I said, I think I'm doing that now. And again, I have too many library books. I got to get through those as well. Oh, I did forget. I get to do some of my board stuff. Sorry. So I've cleared it for October. So I do get to put in historical fiction from the week before because I did finish the Uncommon Reader. And this week I get to do one classic, two classics. I got two. That's right. I forgot because I have Canterville Ghost and King Solomon's Mines. And I continued a series with Ishmael Jones. Technically, I started a series with the King Solomon's Mines, but I'm not sure I'm going to continue on that. Oh, I did have to continue with one of the Kate Daniels books. So I think that's it. I think that's it. So anyway, I'm trying to remember to do this. Anyway, so that's a good start, I think, for the first, 10 days of the month. So we'll see. Anyway, so I hope have you guys reading anything good? Let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.